Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the Vaporesso Swag 2 kit. This was sent to me for the purpose of this review. This is a single 18650 kit. The battery is not included. It does go from 5 watts to 80 watts and it's got a nice battery cap right here so that you can put in your battery, very similar to the Picos that came out years ago. It does come with the NRG tank and it does hold 3.5 mils of e-liquid. Now this, if you notice really looking at it, how it's got like the light to the darker, this is very, very similar to the Vaporesso Gen mod in the way that it's constructed and the color and the feel of it. So if you're familiar with that one, you would definitely be familiar with this one. This does have all sorts of different settings and it does have the Axon chip. The Axon chip is an amazing chip. That's the one that was actually in the Vaporesso Gen as well, and it works phenomenally. It actually has like a pulse setting and things like that. So before I say too much about this and then end the review right here, let's go ahead and go down and look at the Vaporesso Swag 2 kit. Okay, so here we are with the Vaporesso Swag 2 Power and Style. This is the box that it comes in. It says Vaporesso Swag 2 here. On this side here, kind of upside down, it's got Axon chip, 25 millimeter tank, GT C-cell coil, GT4 meshed coil. And then on the back, of course, you're going to get your specifications on the mod, specifications on the tank, and then you're going to get what's included as well as your scratch off authenticity. Inside the box, you're going to get the mod, you're going to get the tank, you're going to get a USB cable. This is a 2 amp charging cable. And then you're going to get your user manual. Very, very easy to follow. It has all your information on it. It tells you about the coils, how to fill it, and your menu options. You're also going to be getting these the instruction of the laser anti-counterfeit label, because a lot of these devices were counterfeited. So a lot of companies are actually putting that out. You're also going to get this envelope here. The envelope is going to have some other information in it. First off, it's going to have your user advisory. Do not use the device other than for vaping, etc. You're also going to be getting your warranty card. In addition to that, you're going to get some spare O-rings and gaskets for the tank. And you're going to get a spare coil. So first we're going to go ahead and go over the tank. So this is actually a 25 millimeter tank. This is called the NRG tank. I don't know if you've seen any of my other Vaporesso videos for the NRG tank, but it is one of my favorite tanks. On top, you're going to get a 510 drip tip. It doesn't really bother me on this device because it's kind of a smaller device and it fits just perfectly, but it is a 510, but it looks a little bit wider than it is. So I do like that. On the front, it's going to say Vaporesso, and then on this side, you're going to have the arrow. The arrow is for you to actually swing back the top. So it is a slide top fill. And then you're going to fill your e-liquid down here. Now, this tank does hold 3.5 mils of e-liquid. There is a TPD compliant version as well that holds only 2 mils. On the bottom, you're going to get this nice knurling. And this, I have to talk about this knurling because this knurling is absolutely amazing. It's so easy to grip and to change your airflow options that I think is crazy. But whatever you do to one side will happen to the other because there are two airflow slots. On the bottom, it does say NRG tank, made in China. So to open up this a little bit further to change out your coil or to go into it to get to the coil, you're going to unscrew the base like this. At this time, if you want to go ahead and take it apart to clean it, you can do so. Installed is going to be their GT4 dual mesh coil. So this is the GT4 coil. This is a 0.15 ohm resistance coil. It's good between 50 to 75, but best between 60 and 70 watts. Again, you can see that mesh in there. Very, very nicely done. Very, very nice coil. The additional coil that they give you is the GT coil. This coil here is the C-cell coil, and this one is 25 to 35 watts, but best at 30 watts. So that's what that looks like. This is just the ceramic coil. So I'm going to be sticking with the mesh coil, so I'm going to put this in. One thing I want to stress to you is whenever you're installing a coil, make sure that when you're installing it, that you're actually screwing it the wrong way until it clicks into place. There you go. When you do that, you know that it's threaded incorrectly. With any kind of sub-ohm tank that has a coil that you screw in, that's the best method to keep it from leaking because that way you know that your threading is actually in there correctly. Now for me, I always prime up my coils. So what I'm going to be doing is actually putting a little bit of e-liquid on the coils as well as on the cotton that you see on the sides. And that way it'll actually help it wick up just a little bit faster. So I'm just going to put a drop there, a drop here, a drop here, and drop there. and then just a little bit right here. This just helps it start getting saturated before you fill it. And then just screw it in just like this. Really, really easy to put together. Very easily to take it apart. And then all you need to do is just find your little arrow. And then we're gonna go ahead and fill that up. And again, this does hold 3.5 mils of e-liquid. And there you go, just close it up and it's ready to go. Now on to the mod. This mod, I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely love the size of it, and it reminds me of my Picos. The Picos that I had, I absolutely loved. I used those years ago. I want to say it was like 3 years ago. The Pico came out, and I actually had like all the sizes of the Pico. Loved them. This has a top battery compartment or top battery cap, so you don't have to open up the device to change out your battery. All you need to do is just go ahead and take off the top cap, slide out your battery, and inside you can see that there's a plus symbol, so it's positive side down, negative side up, and the threading is absolutely amazing. In addition to that, it does have nice knurling on the top cap to make it easy. Over here, you've got your spring-loaded 510. You've got your fire button, your mode button. On this side, you've got your up and down board, but it's more like a toggle. And your Vaporesso Swag 2 right here. On the other side, it's got the Vaporesso logo and then your USB port. On the bottom, it does say Axon chip. This does have the Axon chip. The Axon chip was actually also included in the Vaporesso Gen. This mod was absolutely amazing. I still use it till this day. I love, love, love the Axon chip in it. And they made the Vaporesso Swag 2 with the same type of material that the Vaporesso Gen was made of. It's still got that plasticky feel to it or rubbery feel to it, but it's made of like plastic. So really, really nice. This one has a very similar menu to this one because it does have the Axon chip in it. Okay, then to turn the device on, it's 5 clicks on or 5 clicks off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will turn the device on. It does say Vaporesso. Just going to zoom in so you can see the screen a little bit better. And here you've got your percentage, you've got your resistance, you've got your puff counter. It's going to tell you here what mode you're in, and then of course your wattage. This does go from 5 watts all the way to 80 watts, and as long as you press and hold the selection, it'll actually scroll a lot quicker. See, there we are at 80 watts already, and then back down. So it is 5 watts to 80 watts. It does not round robin. Now this is again your mode button. So that's going to be for your mode or your select and things like that. So to get into the menu, if you just press it once, it's going to tell you automatically to press it 3 times. You can actually press it 3 times or press and hold it to get into the menu. So to get into the menu, 1, 2, 3, we'll go ahead and press that. Your first mode is going to be your pulse mode, which is what we were on now. The pulse mode, it's actually going to give you boost while you're vaping. So even if you have it set as 60 watts, it's still going to give you those little boosts in between while you're vaping. The next one is going to be Power Eco. This is when you're running out of battery life or when you want to conserve your battery, you put it on Power Eco. Very similar to what they have in cars now to save on gas and things like that. The next one is going to be Smart TC. This is where it'll recognize automatically the material and the temperature. DIY mode, this is where all the magic happens. If you press your mode button to select it, and here you're actually going to get variable wattage, you're going to get variable temperature control, variable voltage, custom curve wattage, bypass, super player, and then exit. Now in variable wattage, this is where you would actually select your vape strength. So here is soft, normal, and hard. So very similar to other type of devices. I usually keep mine on normal. And then the next one is going to be variable temperature. This is where you're going to be selecting the materials that you want to use. So for instance, if you want stainless steel, nickel, titanium, memory, to lock your resistance, and then goes back to stainless steel. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and press stainless steel. On the screen, it's going to show your TCR, so you can change your TCR settings. Your power, you can actually change your power. So if you want it lower or higher, that's actually your ramp up time for your temperature control. And it shows your material, stainless steel, and then OK. So you go ahead and press the mode button to select on either of those. And to finish it, just press your OK and it's selected. And there you go. It's going to go ahead and do that for you. Variable voltage. This is if you're going to be working in voltage mode. Personally, for a device like this, I don't think the variable voltage is actually necessary. or bypass for that matter, but they do include that if you want to go into that. Now, my favorite mode is the custom curve wattage. In custom curve wattage, you can actually change it to where it's actually going up and down during the time that you're vaping. So it could start at like 52 watts, and then to change it here, you press the fire button to go over to each one, and then you're going to press the mode button for OK. So go ahead and press your fire button once you've selected it. So I'm going to go ahead and just increase this. Let's go ahead and decrease that. Press the fire button. Go to the next one. I'm going to increase that one. Go to the next one, decrease. You can do it any way that you want it, whatever you're comfortable with, and just keep pressing the fire button until you're done. When you are done, you can press your mode. It'll show OK, and then it's done. You're in the custom curve for wattage. So that I really like. This is one of my favorite settings when it comes to, you know, doing any type of boosts. Is actually bypass mode. Again, I really don't feel like bypass mode is necessary in a device like this with just a max of 80 watts, but that's totally up to you. The next one is going to be super player mode. Super player mode is basically only for RDAs. So this will actually let you go a resistance as low as 0.03. So this is the only time that you can do it is with an RDA, and the build can go down to 0.03. Super player mode is not really used too often, to be honest with you, in regular type of device like this vaping. The next mode over is going to be your system set. System set, this is where you can actually reset your puff counter. All you have to do is go like this. Once you select here, it'll select it for you. So you can do reset if you want to, or exit. The next one is going to be your brightness. The brightness, it's currently all the way on, but you can lower it down if you want to. If it's too bright for you, you can lower it just like that and then press your mode to get out of it. The next one is going to be your flip screen. So if you want to flip the screen, you select this and you can actually flip it to the other direction so that it's reading the other way. I don't want to do that right now. The next one is going to be smart variable wattage. So smart variable wattage, what that means is that this will actually recognize your coil, the wattage that is good for the resistance of that coil, and select it for you automatically. You can have that set if you want. So you would just turn that on if you want it. Auto eco, I actually turn this off because I don't want it to automatically go to eco when the battery is running low. And that's what that will do. The next one is going to be to change the whole thing to default. So if you're messing with all these settings and you're like, oh my God, I don't remember what it was, just go ahead and push default and you can do that. This is where it's going to tell you the version of the Axon chip that you have. And then you're going to have exit, and then you're back to the main menu. Now I'm currently on that one. I want to go over to variable wattage. So there we go. Now we're in variable wattage normal. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now another feature that this does have is you can actually lock your keys. 1, 2, 3 will lock the device. It'll show you a little lock device, lock symbol right there. This is only for like your mode or your up and down. You can still fire the device. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this device. Again, this is the Vaporesso Swag 2 kit with the Axon chip and also the NRG PE tank. And this is it in all its glory. Look at that. I love the gripping of that. So that's it. That is the device and the kit. So let's go up top. We're going to talk about it, pros and cons. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Vaporesso Swag 2 kit. And before anything, I'm going to go ahead and have vape, and then we're going to talk more about it. For me, I love the NRG tank. The NRG tank and the NRG coils are absolutely amazing. I have loved the NRG coils, which are the GT type coils, for, oh my God, ever since my first NRG type tank. And it works so well. It just gives you tremendous, tremendous flavor. No matter if you're using the mesh or you're using the ceramic, you're gonna have a great vaping experience. The coils are absolutely flavorful. You get every note. I know exactly what the Z liquid tastes like
because I made it, so yeah.
So that's it for that. Flavor on this, absolutely amazing. 510 drip tip does not bother me at all because it's not really a tiny 510. It's pretty much of a wide bore 510, so it's definitely a great vape. Wide open is the way that I like to vape this. I love the airflow, absolutely wide open, but that's just my vaping style. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down a little bit so that you can see it about halfway. There we go. Still super smooth, not loud. Absolutely love it. No whistling. It's just, it's an all around great vape. So I'm going to go over the pros and cons. First, I'm going to go over the tank. The pros on this, I already mentioned. The coils, the flavor, the way that it performs, the airflow, the drip tip, everything like that is just, and 25 millimeters, it fits perfectly. I really, really like this tank. There is one con for me on the tank, and this is the same thing for any type of slide fill systems, and that's going to be that it doesn't have a locking top. So even though I have not had any issues with this, it is not open, it is not slid in my purse or anything like that while I've been testing it out. I have to say that because I just feel like there should be some sort of a locking system. So that's about the only con that I have. Now, would it keep me from getting this? No, because the flavor is so on point. It's crazy. So I really, really like that. Now on to the mod. The pros on the mod. Construction. The feel of this is absolutely amazing. It feels exactly like the Gen. I loved the feel of this. It felt good in the hand. It's got a really, really solid, lightweight feel to it, and this has it. It does only take a single 18650 battery, but it makes it really, really light and very, very compact. It fits right in your hand. So it's really, really small, especially being that they do the battery cap this way. Now that to me is another pro. I love devices that have the battery cap like this where you can change out your battery right from the top without taking the whole thing apart, especially if you're out and about. That to me is definitely a pro. Another thing is going to be having the mode button versus everything going by the fire button. The mode button to me is very, very important because that way you're not accidentally firing the mod when you're making a selection or when you're trying to go into the menu and things like that. So that to me, definite pro. The up and down buttons on the side, they do not bother me, and I love the fact that they're there and they're kind of recessed, so when you're holding it in your hand, you do not accidentally change them. But if you're scared of actually changing the temperature or the wattage by accident by pressing those buttons, it's 3 clicks and it's locked and you can still fire it. But no changes are going to be made. Honestly, for most devices, if it's got a locking feature like that where you lock the keys and not the device itself, I usually use it, but that's just a protection measure that I use. It's similar to the Pico. The Pico was one of my all-time favorite mods. It was very small. It had the battery compartment like this. Then they made a bigger one, and it was just an amazing device. And this is definitely beat that. The menu, having the up and down on the side is definitely different than having it on the bottom, which the Picos did. And that really bothered me, having to change the wattage from the bottom. So I do like the fact that this is exactly the way that it is. To me, it's like an enhanced Pico, in my personal opinion. Nice bright screen. This screen you can see from far away. Yeah, it's upside down. You can see from far away. It doesn't give you any problems in seeing the menu, and that to me is a definite pro. A lot of these mods are coming out with the screen just a little bit too dim, and I just like a nice bright screen so that you know what your menu settings are when you're going through them. Another pro is going to be the menu system. I like the fact of that custom curve. That to me is just amazing. I love the custom curve wattage on these devices, this one as well as the Gen. That was my favorite setting. I love messing with custom curves when they work well, and with Vaporesso, especially with the Axon chip, they work absolutely to perfection, which I really like. Now, on to one more con about the tank that I did fail to mention. It does not come with an extra glass or a bubble glass. So that to me is kind of a con. If you're going to have a tank that's got a glass, we need a spare glass. Just in case we drop it, we have that spare glass. So that to me is another con other than the top fill not being locked. I did fail to mention that, I'm sorry. But as a con, I do have to say that the menu could be a little bit intimidating to newer vapors. So that's going to be a little bit of a con for me. Now, I do like the fact that it's got them kind of separated out, but for a newer vapor, they really don't know what pulse mode is or eco or, you know, all this other stuff. And if they don't get onto YouTube to see our reviews, they really don't understand what it means. So that to me, I'm going to do a pro and a con. For the advanced vapors or people that have been vaping for a while and using different menu systems, I feel like it's going to be a pro. But for newer vapors, I feel like it's going to be just a little bit intimidating, to be honest with you. So other than that, temperature control, honestly, in a device like this, I wouldn't be using. Bypass, I would not be using. So those, I don't think bypass needs to be in a device like this. I really don't. So that's going to be another downside. A device like this, you really don't need variable voltage or bypass in something this small that only goes up to 80 watts, in my opinion. So that's about it. But all in all, I think that this is a great, small, compact type of device. It does take a single 18650, and for me, I usually go through 2 18650s a day, but I always carry 2 with me anyways in my purse. They're always there. And every once in a while I go and I, put in a fresh pair. But I always have extra batteries. Whenever you're used to 2 battery mods, you usually carry 2 with you. At least I do. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It does also have the dry burn protection in this Axon chip as well. I did fail to mention that. But yeah, if you get down to where, which you really don't want to do that because for any reason, but if you do get too low, it'll actually stop giving you that full vape or that full power. So it'll dwindle down until you're like, wait a minute, why is it not working? I don't have any liquid. Don't get it to that far, don't test it. But it does have that included. And based off of, previous mods that Vaporesso has had out with the Omniboard chip and the Axon chip, I really like the Axon chip. It just works absolutely phenomenally, just like it did in the Vaporesso Gen. I highly, highly recommend it because of that chip and the way that it works. In eco mode, it works the same as variable wattage, or the pulse mode, but you're gonna feel a slight difference in the vape itself. It will vape the same, but you're not getting as much power. So it's actually, saving some of that power to save your battery. So that's pretty much it. 25 millimeter tank, 3.5 mils of e-liquid. In something this small, I'm not gonna say I wish I had more e-liquid capacity because then the tank would be like this big. So I'm not even gonna go there. But yeah, so that's been my review. It does come in 4 different colors. I'm gonna put the colors right up here for you. Let me know down below, what is your opinion on this? Did you like the Vaporesso Gen? Did you have it? Do you like something like this that's nice and compact with just a single battery? Let me know down below what your thoughts are about this Vaporesso Swag 2 kit, and I will see you in the next one.